You're one of the top comedians in the world. Joe Rogan labels you the funniest man in the world.
It's funny because I still remember being in front of the deli where we hung out in Jersey. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I could still close my eyes and see me and Volano and Ascalise and fucking Ronnie, a bunch of us. And you, to talk in that circle, you better be fucking.
You better bring your shit. You
better bring your shit. Yeah. And I remember that I would always close out the circle.
Yeah.
Like, I let them do their shit, and I just go on a fucking rant. And I
Kill
take
him.
my dick out and I chase somebody down the block and shit. And they would go fucking bananas, you know?
Yeah.
But I never, ever, ever. I watched it on TV. I used to listen to Richard Pryor albums. And what blew me away about Richard Pryor the first time I heard him was, I come from Cuba. I had never heard that type of language. Like, I heard my mother say cocksucker or motherfucker or something.
Not like Richard Pryor.
But nothing like Richard Pryor. Like, I took Richard Pryor home more. It wasn't the stand-up aspect. It was the what the fuck was he doing? And then I took the stand-up. I watched some Carlin specials.
Yeah.
David Brenner was big. I still remember Freddie Prinze.
Yeah.
When Freddie Prinze was rocking and rolling.
Sure.
But Pryor was the one that really bit into me.
Did it for you?
And I bought Bicentennial Nigga. Is It Something I Said?
Yeah.
I mean, I bought all those albums as a fan.
Game changer for you.
I watched the movie. I was there when he lit himself on fire.
Yeah.
I lived through all that trauma. I was a fan of his. And then, I don't know.
I feel like there's some comics you can look at and like, I can see how he does it. I don't know if I have those skills, but I can see what he's doing. You know, like he wrote a bit, he's doing his thing. And then there's other comics, like my hero is Jim Carrey. I felt like I looked at him and was like, oh, I can't do any of that. There's no fuck. Like, if that's stand up, and that's what I thought stand up was. Like I didn't have the George Carlins, all that stuff. I thought that was stand
How
up.
good was Ace Ventura, the first one?
What the
my
fuck?
God.
Ace Ventura and part 2?
I love
Mask?
The first one is my shit.
Dude, the second one I love too.
The first one, I didn't want to go. I took my nephew. And my daughter, like in Boulder. And I was howling.
Game changer. Bro,
Howling.
My mom allowed me to miss 2 weeks of school. I saw it goddamn 8 times. My mom worked across from the Cherry Creek Mall. There's a theater there. I would pretend I was sick. My mom knew what I was doing. She'd bring me to her work, and then she would give me $4. And I'd look at it. Was 11 o'clock movie, 11 a.m. I'd fucking go over there. I'd go to Mrs. Fields Cookies. I'd get a cookie sandwich with icing, double chocolate chip, vanilla ice in the middle, get my ticket, and sit there day after day after day. I was fucking obsessed with Ace Ventura.
So I used to sell cars at Cherry Creek Dodge Jeep.
Yeah, there you go.
Dandy Doug.
Dandy Doug.
That was his name.
Dealin' Doug.
Dealin' Doug. I used to shoplift those malls. I used to go to movies there.
Yeah, man.
That was for Cherry Creek.
Cherry Creek.
You know, now that you said it, I got to be honest with you. I cannot lie to you. The path was very simple. Like, it was laid out for me. Very scary. I went to prison. Before I got locked up, there was a guy that I did not like too much when I worked with him. We didn't like each other. And one day this guy came up to me and he goes, you know, you don't think I like you, and I don't know if you like me or whatever. I'm a little on the straight side. He goes, do you know what I did before I retired and took this job as a sales manager? And I go, no, this was 2 weeks before I got locked up. 2 weeks before I got locked up. He goes, when I got arrested in Boulder, I was working at Bill Crouch Subaru on 28th Street. This one was on 28th Street. Grant, that was the guy's name. God bless his soul. I had worked there, and he didn't like my style of selling. He didn't like that I was like a fucking savage. And he came up to me one day. He goes, I don't like it. So I just stayed away from him.
Yeah.
And about a week later, he came up to me. He goes, do you know what I did before I leave? He goes, I was the booker for one of the casinos in Vegas. And he goes, I gotta tell you, you might have a career as a stand-up comic. And I looked at him and I go, are you fucking retarded? Are you fucking crazy? Then I got arrested. Thought went right out the window.
Like,
it wasn't
goes
Brendan to my little girl at the house. Wasn't even a thought.
Damn.
It's like if I come to you and say, you know what, you should play the harmonica. And you're like, Joey, I'll think about that.
Yeah, okay. Let me go get a
Like,
fucking
that's how
harmonica.
quick. Like, by the time I got in the car and I went and got that rag,
Not even thinking about it.
that bag of Coke, it was gone.
Yeah,
like, I
fuck
never
that.
thought about it.
It was that crazy to you? Like it was like the harmonica? Like you wouldn't even consider
It's
it?
like me coming to you and going, you know what, Lee, you got little arms. You should play the fucking bow. Like, you know, at an orchestra, the Hollywood Bowl, I'll hook you up. I got a connection down there. That's
It's so
what it was
crazy
like.
when you think about it.
Like, I just got in my car and went home. And then I got arrested, went through the process, ended up at Camp George West in Golden.
Let me ask you this, Joey. How old were you when you did your first set? Was it open mic?
Yeah, it was open mic at the Denver Comedy Works on Tuesday night.
God
3
damn.
minutes.
And how old were you?
32. So I got locked up at 25. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was a little early. We'll count it down. I got locked up at 25. When I was in there, shit would happen, and they would always in the kitchen. I was a stock clerk, and I would fuck around with the black inmates.
Yeah.
If the food wasn't good, I'd go, "Don't do it."
Yeah.
I'd yell across the thing. The brothers would go,
Joking around.
I go like this to
Yeah.
them, "Don't do it." And they go, "God damn it, we got to eat reserves again," because they all had food in their rooms.
Yeah.
So one day the projector broke, and I would go on stage. They would go, "Cuba, go." And something happened that they said, "Tell them what happened today." Like, it was one of those things. So I go, "I'll tell you what happened." Fucking Mr. Yarborough, and I went
Because you're a
off.
good storyteller.
Something like that. And then like a week later, they said the projector broke, and they go, "Cuba, go up there and crack some jokes." And this went on for about 4 or 5 weeks.
So it's kind of your first open mic-ish
Mike-ish, kind of
prison
goofing
open
on the
mic.
black guys.
But
There was
still,
3 junkies.
Working the no material, working the
No
crowd.
material, just working it straight, black, Mexican, white. Look at this fucking dude
It's a
with no
rough
Jerry
crowd,
curl.
but they're looking for entertainment.
And they all dug me, and they all got along with me. I never had any beef. And then there was this white dude from Buffalo who killed his wife and her boyfriend. And he was at the end of a 22-year beat. And then he had to go to Buffalo and serve 8 years.
Fuck.
And he rolled his own cigarettes, and he was very nerdy. He knew about every book. He would get into deep arguments about Nietzsche with everybody and shit. And I would go in there every day after, because my job was very limited. My job was like 2 hours, an hour and a half, and then I had the rest of the day off to about 4:30. So I would go to the library and read the paper, the sports page, and I'd return a book. And one day, bro, he came up to me and he gave me a notebook, which is big in jail. Like to get a notebook, you know, those old hardcover ones that look like he did a hit of acid and they're black on white, and then it's his name and subject.
Yep.
Like it was one of those. And he goes, "Take this." And I go, "Why?" And he goes, "So you can write your jokes." Like he was like this guy killed his wife and the guy that was cheating on him with.
But
And
smart
he comes
dude.
up to me with a notebook. He goes, "Take this." He goes, "You're gonna need this. You should write your jokes on here." Like he was happy he gave me something. I'll never forget. And I go, "What's this for?" He goes, "So you can write your jokes, man." He goes, "You did really good last week." And I go, "I'm not a comedian. I just go up there and fuck around." And he looked at me like, he goes, "So wait a second. When you go up there on Thursdays, you're not prepared?" I go, "No. When the fuck do you see me writing? I don't
Yeah, when
prepare
the
nothing."
fuck am I going to write? Yeah.
And he goes, "Listen, man, when you get out of jail, you should try this. This is a guy who killed his wife.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I'm going to listen to
All
you."
right, murderer.
So done. Did I think about it after that?
Yeah.
Maybe once or twice. Maybe they're on to something. But then I'm like, what the fuck's the guy know? If he knew anything about entertainment, he'd be Led Zeppelin's manager. And what the fuck does the other hippie Joe? You know, if he'd done everything, he would have
They're
killed his
inmates.
wife.
Yeah.
And I got a job roofing. I went to work with my in-laws, and
So you're in prison for how long? 4 or 5?
about 14 months.
Oh, that's it?
I go to Boulder. I start selling cars.
Okay.
And then after I get out of after I get out of the halfway house, I go to work for my in-laws, and I work on a roof in Denver for like 6 or 7 months. Then they make me an estimator. They send me to training school, and I go to different Rubber, Carlisle, and Goodyear, and they all train me on how to measure their roofs and shit. So there's one winter, like I tell people all the time, especially Boulder. Denver Boulder's only cold the last 2 weeks of December, the first 2 weeks of January.
Yeah, it's not bad.
That's it.
Yeah,
After
people
that,
think it's all snowy and shit.
oh my God,
Like frozen or
that
some
second week of January, it was coming down, and we couldn't work. There was a high load dropping off materials, so all we had to do was go to the roof, shovel the roof, and then put the materials on the roof, and we were going to go all to eat lunch. But something happened with all the snow that they couldn't get the thing. So my brother-in-law goes, Doug, do you want to go to the diner and get everybody green chili?
Boulder makes some good green chili now.
Huh?
Boulder has some good green chili.
This is like South Denver.
Oh, okay.
This is before they developed it off the 70, like one of those warehouses that's real long.
Right.
But 2 blocks away, the green chili was money.
Word.
And you could either sit in the booth or go up to the counter. And I just walked up to the counter and there was a Rocky Mountain Post. And you know, like when you open up a paper and just open it.
Rocky Mountain News. There's Denver Post.
Right.
There's Rocky
See,
Mountain
I got
News.
it confused. You know when you open up a paper like that just to see the
Yeah, just like
sports or
what's
whatever?
going on here.
Right there in big bold letters. It said, do you want to be a stand-up comedian?
What the fuck?